Today I just want to talk about, I've actually spoken about this subject before, but today I want to literally, see? Lump sum of money. Should you start a business or should you, my mind went blank. Should you start a business? Work out how to do it. It's not really my thing. But yeah, I'll link the video in. Yeah, no. Hi guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that I've covered before a few years back. So if you've been watching me for a while, you may have come across the video. It's basically the video where I was talking about when you're coming to Ghana with your initial lump sum of money, should you start a business or would it be better for you to build a house? Now, at the time that I spoke about this, I think we had been in Ghana for about 2 years, and I was still kind of confused as to which way things should kind of go, because it was kind of tough for us because we didn't have a lot of direction. There weren't a lot of YouTubers out there at the time doing videos, so we were kind of like going in raw, and it was like literally like some sort of social experiment going on with us. But what we did at the time, we initially lived with my dad, but we needed space because there's so many of us, and so we decided to rent. We rented a house, a 4-bedroom house, which was 1,500 cedis a month, and we paid for 2 years in advance because back then you pay 1 year or 2 years in advance. Now 1,500 cedis at the time was about $500 a month, and that is quite a lot to pay up front for 2 years. Most of us, you know, you work, you get paid at the end of the month, and you work on a month-to-month basis. But having to put that lump sum of money can really set you back quite a lot. But at the time, it kind of became necessary that we needed our space, so we had to do that. So we decided to rent for 2 years. Now, let me just tell you, renting for Ghana in 2 years, the time just flies by. It just goes so quick. So if you're going to rent, just know that before you know it, 2 years is up. 2 years in Ghana goes really fast. I don't know what it is, but there is some type of phenomenon that happens. Like when I was in the UK, a week used to feel like a week and a half to 2 weeks. In Ghana, a week feels like 4 or 5 days. The time just here just goes so fast. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the time goes really fast. So if you're thinking that, okay, I'm going to rent for 2 years, and then after 2 years, I'll think about that later. Trust me, 2 years is going to go very fast. And paying 2 years rent in advance will suck up a lot of your initial capital that you've come here with. Now, looking back, what would I do differently? I think if I was coming back to Ghana again, what we would do is we would have started building. And this is great if you're a regular coming to Ghana back and forth and you visit quite a lot. I would suggest that you start by building something, even if it's a really small something, it doesn't matter. A small 2-bedroom that maybe later on would be a boys' quarters or some sort of. So what you basically do is you buy a plot of land and you start with a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom if you can handle a 1-bedroom, and build around it later on. So what you need, you just need a roof over your head. Once you have a roof over your head in Ghana, you are pretty much good to go. Day-to-day living is not expensive. If you eat local, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to feel the expense of it. But you need to get a roof over your head. Having a roof over your head is one of the most expensive things. When we first came, we did a roof over our head, and then, as in renting, and then we tried to also start a business. We still had income coming from the UK. But the business that we started in Ghana at the time was major for us. We were into construction because that's what my husband does. So we were buying land and we wanted to build, and we had so many dreams and everything was going along beautifully, and then things changed in Ghana, and this is something that maybe perhaps we're not used to in the Western world, in the UK or the US, because when the government here changed, everything changed and it affected everything. Like contracts that you think you may have had were gone. Developments that were happening just stopped. Like, it hits you on the ground. Whereas in the UK, it's like, oh, government's changed. Like, it doesn't really affect you so much. I don't know. But in Ghana, it really does. And so things changed for us a lot. And so that's how we got into a bit of a financial pickle at some point. And so things became quite difficult for us. Went through a period where it was very difficult. But I'm glad that we did go through that period, because it kind of gives me better insight, and so I can help you guys. Because when we came here, there were no YouTubers, no one was saying what was happening. We were literally the blind leading the blind. We did not know what we were doing. Okay, so that's why I thought it would be helpful to do an updated video. So I can't remember if I've said this already, because I've recorded this video a few times and I'm getting lost in my own thoughts. So if I'm repeating myself, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Okay, so if we were coming again, what we would definitely do is start by building a small house somewhere, get our plot of land, build a small house somewhere, so that we know that in 2 years' time we're coming and we're going to manage in that small 2-bedroom house, and we will think about everything else later. We just want a roof over our head to begin with, and then we would start a business. But we wouldn't start a big business, we would start a small business that we can handle. Now, the other thing I need to say about businesses here in Ghana is that I'm going to be very careful, because I've had a few comments in the past where people think that I'm being very negative about Africa and I don't have anything good to say and blah, 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 blah. But listen, I'm on a real. I will give it to you as real as I find it, okay? I'm sorry if you can't handle that. I'm just being real. Not everything is rosy here all the time, okay? Ghana is wonderful. I love it. If I didn't love it, we would have packed up and we would have gone back to the UK long time ago. This is not about bashing. This is about trying to get you to understand, or trying to help you understand the challenges that we from abroad can sometimes face, or that we may not even be aware that we're going to face. Okay, so when you're starting a business in Ghana, you need to think very carefully about what type of business it is and how much of your day-to-day time you want to invest into that business. Because, sorry, that's my son. Because one thing that I've learned from those around me, family and friends that have had businesses in the past. Uh-oh. Hi, baby. One thing I've realized about people who have had businesses, family and friends that have had businesses, sorry, he's throwing me off a bit. Family and friends that have had businesses is that they find it very hard to just simply take an afternoon off sometimes, because they literally have to be there all the time. Can you handle that? Some businesses, you just can't leave, because you have to be constantly supervising, monitoring, seeing what's going on all the time. Do you have that time to invest? If you do, that's great. If not, then fine. One thing I have realized is that for me to start a business here, I would love to, but I don't have that time to invest because of the number of children that I have. I just can't. My focus, I'm not a person that can be focused in like 10 different places at once. If I'm going to do something, I have to focus, and I have to be dedicated on that thing in order to keep going. Otherwise, I will just melt away over time. So if you're going to do something, you have to be dedicated. Now, one thing I really wish that we had done when we came to Ghana was that we came as a team. When we were coming to Ghana, at the time, it wasn't that popular for people to move back to Ghana. And so we came and we kind of did things on our own. Now, if you're coming to Ghana, I would advise you so strongly, if you know other people that are also coming to Ghana, do something as a collective. I can't stress it enough. Do something as a collective. It is so important. Not only does it help mitigate risk, it also means that you have other people that you can bounce off ideas, you can develop together, you can sharpen each other. It makes a big difference. Okay, it really does. That's what I wish, that we had like maybe 5 people that would team up with us and to push projects forward, for direction. There's just so much more in coming as a collective than trying to do things on your own. And I find that a lot of us black people, we don't like to do things as a collective. I don't know where that mistrust comes from. Like, we don't have people that we feel that we can trust and go into business with together. But if you can, I'm telling you, do it, because you will blow up. You will absolutely blow up if you come as a team that you trust, not just random people, a team that you trust, that share your vision, and you know that you're going to do it together and you're committed. Do that, absolutely. So if I was coming to Ghana again, I would definitely come as a team. I would have already built my house, so have my 2-bedroom, and then trust me, I would sleep on the floor, whatever, I don't care. I'll sleep on the floor while I'm pursuing my dream business or whatever, and I'll build slowly over time. And I think that's the thing that trips a lot of people up when they come to Ghana. Finances start to dry out because they thought that, okay, well, I can rent here, or I can stay with auntie so-and-so or uncle so-and-so, and it doesn't go that way, because sometimes, even though Ghanaians are very, very welcoming, sometimes you need your own space, and you, even though they may not tell you that you're not welcome, they certainly won't tell you that you're welcome, you might feel as though you need your space, and you feel like you have outstayed your stay, and then you will end up going to rent somewhere, and it will swallow your cash, and then you end up in a cycle, and you don't want to do that. You need to have your freedom. So it's really important to have a roof over your head. Have a roof over your head and get some sort of business going. If you're not sure what kind of business you're going to go into, I would strongly suggest you find a business you can do online, so that you can be earning dollars, pounds, or whatever, and it's just so much easier. If you're not a business person, try and find something that you can do online for anywhere in the world. There are a number of things you can do. I've heard about people teaching Chinese to speak English. You can do that online. All you need, that's not going to cost you a lot. All you need is good internet and a laptop. You're pretty much good to go. There are a number of things you can do. So you can do anything like that. You could do YouTube if you can make it big enough for that to be your income. I know there are a few people that are popping up now that you can blatantly tell that, you know, YouTube is their income. And that's really good, especially if you're showing the beauty of Africa, the beauty of Ghana, because people really want to see that at the moment. So there are a number of things you can do, but definitely think about your income, because you don't want to fall into a hole here. Things change government-wise. Things can happen, and things are not as stable here. And like I said before, some people fall into a trap and then end up having to go back home, either to get more money, or just because they just feel the struggle is just too much. So I don't want anyone to fall into some of the things that we fell into, which is why I'm giving you this piece of advice. You can take it or you can leave it. It's up to you. I really don't mind. I just thought I would share with you the journey that we've had so far. And I like to be real. And that was it. So I think that's all I've got to say. I think. Yeah, that's it, guys. So until next time.